Okay, tutorial of eye proportions on a head will be just about here. I'll get the head done first. Heads are relatively okay, so I don't have any problems with that. There's the head. We need to keep those bits because they kind of help us with like guidelines. So when you're getting eyes down, you want to try to get a guideline there. Get a guideline there. It doesn't matter. Depending on the gender, the guidelines might be small or bigger. Like males in anime tend to have like thinner eyes, narrower, so they would be smaller. But this is just basic. I don't care about the gender right now. I'm just doing whatever can fit on the page to get the lesson done. Male eyes, I won't touch into for now actually, because we'll start on females because they tend to be easier. And then the nose popped in always helps. And then you try to square that off so you can get better proportions. And then so you've used that straight one for that box, and then use more of the curved one for this box. And you do that, and then you have it. Sometimes you want to make that one longer, so the angle works. And you could do it flipped round. Easy flip round is a thing. And then you try to cross them so they get extra shape. It doesn't need to be perfect crosses or any of that, as long as they're more similar to each other. So you get a line through those. So then when you do the eye, you can start there or there, because these lines are also important behind them for the box and for inside the box. And then if you get a line straight down there and a line straight down there, it works. And then you might want to get some eyebrows. Well, not eyebrows, but where you'll put the eyebrows in after. Maybe a bit of blush to help it get along so you can see how it looks with it. And then I'll add in the nose so it can make things simpler and easier to see. And then start in between this bit and this line, because that's important, like in the middle of. Well, let's make a dot there so it's easier, and then the same on this side. And then you might want it to go lower, so I want it to go there, and I want it to go there. This might be easier. And then I want it to reach there, and then go across. I want it to reach there, and then go across. And then basically, I want it to reach the top when it gets like in between those two. So I want it to reach the top when it gets in between those two. So then I just start the line. It's like joining dots to dots, really. Hold on, it's really hard at this angle. So then we have the top bit. And the top bit usually doesn't look right, so you just thicken that bit up to make it how that is. And then you thicken that bit up just to make it match the thickness. And then that one goes more straight down, so you thicken this bit up. You try to curve them off. And that still doesn't work, so you try to curve them in the inside, and then these ones you'll try to go on top. And then you have something that's pretty close. You might add an eyelash, but they don't matter for now. And then you go to there, and you go to there. It depends on the shape of the eye. Like the other one, they were similar but not quite the same. Depends on how you're going with your theme or person or whatever. And then for the eyeball, I usually make a dot there. Well, I don't, but it'll be easier to make a dot there. And then if it's going to be looking this way, we'll bring the eye down to there, bring the eye down to there, and curve it a bit into the end. And curve it a bit into the end. And there you go, you have some nice looking guys. And if they don't look quite right, you can just thicken them. So if that one's not low enough, you thicken the bottom of that and the top of that. And then they look okay. And then you put a line in it, in a line in it because that's just the style I go with, so you don't have to. Make that line a bit more prominent because that's like the best line we have. And then I add the little line under there and the line under there. And then we have the eyes. And so you have it, the eyes exist. I could do other eyes, like thinner, but then you'd really just go to like there and then make maybe a dot there and you just go there and then down to there and then down to there and then down to there. It doesn't matter. Just get some dots down and then match up and then do lines in between and thicken them to make them look like the match. And then mouths. I need a rubber so I can do multiple mouths. There's the rubber. So the sketch lines you can probably remove after, but I don't have the energy this time. And then if you want to do an open speaking, do like that a bit higher up than you usually would, because that's important, so you can get it how it needs to be. And pull it down a bit, and pull that bit down a bit. And then you have the initial outline of the mouth. It takes a while, so you can go over it and make it look however you want it to look. And then I'll say teeth on the bottom because the angle. And then you have the teeth in. You add like darker bits there, went over near the teeth, but not on the teeth, so the teeth are more prominent. And you shade in that bit in the middle. And then add a little square under, and then you have a lovely mouth on a lovely face. Not another mouth. I did throw you in the deep end with that mouth, I am sorry. The mouth isn't removing very well because I did put it on a bit hard. I need to be more aware of that, that is my problem. I re-put in the sketch lines because you usually do them around the sketch lines, like in that circle. And then for an open speaking mouth, you'd start like there, and then start there, and work your way up, and then add the shape under. And let's see, bottom teeth for this one too. It doesn't really matter with teeth, just get the initial shape and then shade it. And then there you go, and add your little square, and then you have it. Well, it's not a square, it's a triangle. Let me get my shapes right. It would be helpful. And then you can have a plain closed, which I did in another video. And a plain smiling, which helps out because it looks cute and who cares? It's easy. You can change the shape to a smile to fit your character. Some might have a smile starts there and just goes down a lot. See, that's cute too. But now, you might have a bit that starts like that and a mouth like that. See, now that looks pretty okay. And you can do the teeth on the bottom like the first one, but I'll do on the teeth on the top for a better example. And there you have it. There's another mouth. And then you can do a bit on the bottom like that. That doesn't look like a nice smile really, but it does, depends on how you like the proportions. But then you can go like that. And then you have a speaking one that's like big open mouth. And now you can add in top teeth to that. Back in the corners, around the teeth but not on the teeth. Since someone's not smiling, you need a little bit there too. And then just shade in the rest and add in the triangle. That's all I can really think of for now. Oh no, there's other ones. Like a basic. You can turn that into an open mouth speaking, or you can just have it as teeth out and whatever you want. You can really transform them if you like get them eventually, because I struggle with them sometimes. And then you can have give me a very difficult moment. It's smiling teeth. That's pretty simple. Just have it higher up because the mouth is open and that's how it works in anime stuff. And then that's the best I've got for you. So let me just add in my favorite mouth. Now I'll turn that into a person in the next one. So we'll see you then. I'll also do hands eventually, but I still struggle with hands myself, so I'm not there.